It's Jungle Walker here. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I just got a brand new toy, as you probably already saw at the beginning of this video, and I'm really excited to show it off. So this is the Thor LT Thermal Rifle Scope. This thing was not cheap, it was about $1,200. So you might be wondering, hey Jungle Walker, why would you spend a whole bunch of money? You don't even hunt. You've probably seen my YouTube channel, I don't have any hunting videos. What are you going to do with the thermal rifle scope? What are you going to go to war or something like that? No. So I've always loved going out and finding whatever kind of crazy creatures I can find. Lately I've been in a place that's a little bit less tropical, a little less jungly for this walker than I'm used to, but I'm going back soon and I want to be able to go out there and find all those crazy Floridian creatures and all those invasive species and Burmese pythons that we've had. And so one way that I've wanted to do this is with thermal vision. Now this is almost like a superpower to me. I've always wondered, man, if I could just go out into the woods and just know what's out there in the darkness looking back at me. You know, sometimes you walk out and you can just see the eye shine of animals out in the woods, and I've always wanted to know, man, what is out there? If only I could just see everything. Or if I'm driving over a bridge over the ocean, I've always wondered, what crazy aquatic sea monsters are under that water that we just don't see? If only I could like just levitate them all up and see all the animals swimming out there. Maybe there's something crazy that would make us never even want to get in the ocean again. Now, I don't think this will come in handy with discovering all those sea monsters, but this is still a lot of fun. So what I can do is use this not only as a rifle scope if I ever wanted to get into wild pig hunting, but just going out and seeing all the crazy animals that are out there. What I did was I went out in my local neighborhood. We've got a nature trail back there, so I went out at night and I just took this thing for a spin. And what I saw is really kind of mind-blowing. But before we get into the great outdoors with this thing, I wanted to just run a few tests just to see what this thing is capable of, what I can expect from it, what it does essentially. It's a little tricky to use the phone camera. I'm just recording on my phone, my Android phone, so if it seems kind of sketchy, I'm sorry. I'm not up to with the Joneses. I don't have all the cool gadgets. Maybe someday, if my channel ever gets monetized, I'll get like a really nice sound system, get a nice GoPro with like a camera here and a camera over here and a camera here, you know, camera on each hand, just like blast people with GoPros. But that's a little bit far off from now. So right now, I gotta take the phone and kind of hold it up to the rifle scope and kind of zero it in and everything. So it's highly edited, but I think you'll find it interesting in spite of all the technical challenges this channel faces. So the first thing I wanted to do was just test the basic capabilities of this new toy. So I made myself a little snack, some hot tea and a plate of cookies, and I saw exactly what I expected to see, which was the cup of tea glow like the sun. But the interesting thing was when I focused on the cup of tea, everything around it basically turned black. But when I pan away, the temperature gradient changes and I can see fine details, like I can make out the heat signatures of the tables and chairs and the countertop. But then going back to the cup of tea, it all darkens and the contrast is focused on the cup. There's my pressure cooker with a warm chicken in it, so that also appeared very hot. Then I wanted to see if I could stare out of a window with this thing. So I took a large sliding glass door and I half opened it. So on the right hand side is the open air, and I can see out into the backyard and see the planters that I have out there. And on the left hand side is the glass door. And all I can see there is my own reflection. I can actually see the reflected heat signature that I'm giving off. And then looking back into the backyard, I can make out fine details like branches and leaves of trees way off into the distance. It's amazing the amount of detail that it retains even out to several hundred yards. So now I take this scope out for its true test. Walking down my neighborhood road, scope in hand, to the old nature trail. Firing it up into the woods, it's amazing to see how the heat of the trees can be detected. This is a manhole cover. That thing's glowing like it's red hot. And then there I can almost make out everything in the woods. I can see the wooden bridge, I can see the gravel path, I can see trees. All these things give off different levels of heat, and so the scope is able to distinguish between them and contrast it. Even fine details like branches, especially when I move the scope up so that the empty night sky is in the background, which doesn't give off any heat at all, you can make out every individual leaf there is, because all these things are giving off some degree of infrared energy. Here's the nature trail. The path almost looks like it's glowing in the dark, but that's just because the gravel is giving off more heat than the surrounding dried leaves. It's kind of creepy to be out there in the total pitch blackness, and all you have is this tiny little field of vision. It's kind of claustrophobic at first. You definitely get that tunnel vision. But what I'm out here for is to find the animals. So I scan around for a while, and then I see my first one. Some sort of creature poking its head up from behind a tree. I zoom in. It's hard to see with this screen, but when you're not using the cell phone, it's a lot clearer. This was a young deer. I could make out the ears and everything. So I reposition myself to get a better view. Oh, man. Hides away again. This was from across the stream. Looking through the vegetation, I saw the outline of another deer. This one seemed pretty oblivious to my presence. I think he just wasn't concerned. He or she, I don't know, couldn't make out any antlers. I think I tried to whistle at it a bit, but it ignored me. Here are the aforementioned deer that I saw from behind the tree. There was actually 2 of them. They appear to be pretty young. By adjusting the contrast on the scope, I was able to see them much more clearly. They were certainly aware of me. I was walking pretty softly, so I thought, but they zoned in on me right away. You can see them getting anxious. I love the amount of definition that I can see, even with all the vegetation in the way. Oh, that's so cool to watch them move like that. Their mother was some distance away, so they quickly leapt over to her. I have no idea how they were able to keep track of where each other was. I mean, it's pitch black out there. I didn't hear the mother making any noises. Maybe deer just have really good night vision, or maybe they can smell each other. I don't know. No one writes scholarly articles on a deer's sense of smell, do they? I guess hunters do have those deodorizing products so the deer can't smell them. Maybe they just have smell-o-vision. I think this was right after a biker, not like a motorcyclist, but a person riding a bike just appeared out of nowhere. It's pitch black, and all of a sudden I see this light, and I hear this whistling. And so I'm standing out here in the total blackness. I don't have any light on me, like a total weirdo, like a sociopath out in the woods. And I put my scope down because I didn't want to appear like a total freak. But I tried to say hi as the bicyclist went past, but they never responded, just kept whistling the whole way. Turned out they were probably more the sociopath than I was. Remember, kids, there's always a crazier person out there than you are. At this point, I started hearing noises off to my side, and so looking through the scope, I scanned and I was able to see what it was making that noise. It was a rat. It was just jumping through the leaves. And I know it's a rat because I could see the long tail. I'm pretty sure it was too small to be a possum. Anyway, they don't move with that much energy. This has been really an eye-opener. All this occurred within about 50 feet of homes. This nature trail is right behind a bunch of people's backyards, and it was amazing to see all the deer and everything back there. I can't wait to take this to Florida and see what kind of crazy animals I can see. I also want to run some more tests and see if reptiles give off a discernible heat signature. I suspect they do, especially probably in the dusk, right after they've just got done sunbathing. But if you like this video, stay tuned for more. I'm sure there'll be more content to come.